Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Mike Yanek Show, episode 46. Yes, mate, how you doing? I hope that your week is going well. I hope that you're having a great time. Yes, I'm loving it. Whoa! Now, weather is very nice today, which is kind of surprising, because it is November. So maybe that's why I'm in a bit of a better mood. But it's gonna rain for the next week. But that doesn't matter. This is not the weather channel, and I am not the weather man. Okay, I don't have those tacky suits that the weatherman wear. Even though I do have the attitude of a weatherman, because in the news team, the main anchors or whatever, they are very serious. They're very stoic. They have their papers in front of them, and they always talk about doom and gloom and people dying all around the world and disasters and this and that and politics. They're not even allowed to crack a smile, which, when you think about it, that is a profession that only a psychopath wants to do. Reading the evening news, like, come on, reading all this murder and mayhem, wearing a cheap suit in front of a green screen, telling the people that the end is, the world is ending in a few hours. No, I don't like that. But I do have the attitude of a weathercaster, because after you have 25 minutes of complete mayhem and destruction, then they go, and now it's Phil with the weather. And Phil is always like very chirpy, like, hey, everybody, and he's always like, because he knows that in that block or whatever of half an hour, 40 hour, the evening news, he knows that he has maybe like 4 minutes. This is his time to shine, so he's very upbeat and very full of energy, and like he tries to, like, because the weather is kind of boring. I mean, I kind of realize now that I'm getting older, because I get more and more invested in what's the weather day by day. Literally, one of the pages that is bookmarked on my, here on my Chrome or whatever, is the weather. Liverpool weather. So when I click it, I get to see in the next 10 days, and it's literally broken down hour by hour. If it's gonna rain, how much is the humidity, how much is the wind, everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm getting more and more excited about the weather, and that is a signal that I am getting old as F. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I do have the attitude of a weatherman, because he's always like, and now the weather in London is going to be blah blah blah, it's gonna rain, but this and that and that. Oh, up in Scotland it's gonna rain, because of course it is. It always rains over there and stuff like that. Yes, and then you have the sports guy or girl or whatever. They used to be former athletes, or they always had the ambitions to become athletes, but they didn't have the physical prowess to be one, and that's why they just comment on people who are pretty much superhumans, because professional athlete, with a few exceptions, some sports are just a joke, let's be honest, but that's a conversation for another episode. Oh, I'm gonna do that, actually. That is a good idea. Which sports are a complete joke? Yeah, so I do have the attitude of a sportsman, weatherman, sorry. Today I'm gonna tell you about a crazy gig I had in Bramley recently. Actually, my last comedy gig before, because here we're under. There's a certain situation happening in the UK which I'm not allowed to talk about, because the algorithms of YouTube are gonna put me at the bottom. And I had a few episodes that they performed very well, and it actually feels kind of nice when you have more than 3 views per episode, because I put a lot of time and effort into doing these podcasts, and I really enjoy them. And back in the day, especially when I've done the long form, I had some episodes that have been like hour and a half, and they took like 19 hours to upload, because my internet is slow, and they took such a long time to edit and export. It took like 4 hours to export, and you put all this time and effort, and then you literally get 3 views. And they still have 3 views. You know what I mean? And but I kind of change, the format, and I'm always improving, and I'm kind of getting the gist of it now after almost 50 episodes. I'm kind of starting to understand how to do YouTube and how to get these stuff, and it feels very nice. I'll be honest with you, like the previous, or the episode before, episode 44. it got around 300, 350 views or something like that. And I was like, you know what? That feels actually quite nice when people are looking at your stuff, that you put so much effort into it, So I'm avoiding a few words. It's not topics. I always talk whatever the hell I want, but there's like few words you should avoid if you, otherwise you go down. And because we're in a current situation right now in the UK, the situation starts with this letter, and I cannot do gigs. You know what I mean? So for now, I'm doing YouTube as much as I can. I started doing movie reviews on Fridays, and I do the life of a stand-up comedian, the vlogs of me doing comedy, which are going to be paused for a few weeks maybe, or a month or two, until we get comedy back. And I do the podcast every Wednesday, and I'm developing more stuff as it is, so I'm just trying to keep myself busy. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. I need to say that if you haven't subscribed already. So I'm gonna tell you about the gig. I'm gonna give you all the details because it was crazy, and I decided to talk more about like my gigs, because apparently people are interested when I talk to people, and when I see when I do gigs and stuff, and when I talk to other comedians and some audience members or whatever, and if they've seen the podcast, and they say, I really enjoy when you just share your gigs and experiences and growing up in Bulgaria and all that stuff. And I was a guest to a few podcasts, and we talked about those stories. So I'm gonna be sharing them more and more from now on, like gigs and that type of stuff. And because the thing is, I really like telling these stories, but I don't have nobody to tell them, because to be honest with you, my girlfriend, we've been together I think 5 months now, and even though we're only 5 months together, I think at this point she completely doesn't want to hear my stories anymore. She even stopped watching the podcast, you know what I mean? Because she had enough, okay? Because I talk too much, and it's always like all these crazy stories, and I think she heard all of them. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to share them with you, the good people of the internet. Before I tell you, because I wouldn't have time to do two separate stories, so I'm just going to do the Bramley one, and I'm going to do a few other stuff that happened recently. So the thing is, we're middle of November right now. And to be honest with you, Christmas has started. Because, and you'll be like, but hold on, like Christmas is upon us. That's what I wanted to say. And you will say to me, but Mike, hold on, it's only middle of November. No, mate, trust me on that. Because I went to Home Bargain a few days ago, because I am scum, okay? I am a cheap bastard. All the people now who shop, everybody shops at Home Bargain, let's be honest, they'll be like, they're all mad now. Yeah, I'm scum, and I'm poor, and I'm broke, and I don't have any money, and I like discounts, okay? This is like the Eastern European in me. I love a good bargain. I love a good discount. I'll even buy some stuff that I don't really want that much, but if it's a huge discount, if it was like 10 quid and then it's like a pound, I'm gonna buy it even if I don't need it that much, And I'm looking for some, geek stuff, nerd stuff as well. I like collecting stuff, as you can see, all over here. And you find a lot of good stuff that are very cheap. So we go into Home Bargain the other day, right? And Christmas music, mate. Christmas music is blasting all over the place. Okay, I love Christmas. Okay, and listen to me, government, because this year it's kind of like 50-50. Are we gonna have Christmas or we're not gonna have Christmas? Because of the whole let's just call it the situation, you know what I mean? But we all know what are we talking about, especially if you live in the UK. So because of the situation, it's kind of not sure if we're gonna have Christmas this year, because they said, we're gonna lift the situation middle of December, beginning of December. And I was thinking, if you bastards even think about canceling Christmas this year, oh mate, if you want to see some middle class white people protesting, riot, just cancel Christmas. If you cancel, mate, I'll be out there as well. I've never been to a protest in my life. Never even planned to be. I'm not an activist. I don't go to protests. Listen, mate, I'm lazy. I'm sorry, but I'm lazy. I don't even post hashtags. You know what I mean? was like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And there's literally like a different day. Like, oh my god, we have all these days. Day of the panda, day of, I don't know, people with dyslexia. People with ADHD day, a vegetarian day, like every single day now is some sort of something. And me, I don't care, bro. Honestly, like, I'm sorry, but I just don't. This is how I've been all my life. I'm not political. I live in my little bubble, and just don't touch me. Don't bother me with your stuff. You know what I mean? This is just how I am. And I've never been to a protest. Never been, like, and I don't think I ever will, mate. Even if they say, if let's say Nigel Farage or whatever becomes prime minister one day, and he comes out and he says, you know what, I had enough of those Bulgarians, those bloody Bulgarians. Now, just for the record, because we have some new viewers and stuff, I am Bulgarian, right? I was born in Bulgaria, lived in the UK for 10 years. I'm planning to apply for citizenship maybe next year when the situation is all sorted, right? But until then, and if he says, oh, these bloody Bulgarians, he's been talking a lot of shit about my people, right? And he says, I want to deport all of them, right? If you have a Bulgarian citizenship, you'll be deported from the UK. Now, I like the UK very much so, okay? It's my home now, 10 years here. I want to make a career here, whatever, right? I don't want to leave. But even if he says, I want to deport all of them, and if you have something to say about it, you hit the streets or whatever, and there's like an organization, I don't even know how many Bulgarians are in the UK. I don't know, 12 million Bulgarians or like 7 people. All my cousins or whatever. I have no idea, right? I don't know any Bulgarians. I'm not a member of a community. I don't go to like social Bulgarian clubs or Eastern European clubs. It's just me. Mikey boy, you know what I'm saying? Individual. I don't do anything, okay? And let's say that there's like a big protest of Bulgarians, just like flooded the streets everywhere. Bulgarians everywhere. And somebody calls me, and they say, like in 2 days we're going to this big protest and it's very important. Otherwise, they're going to deport us, and we're doing petitions and the media is going to be there. You need to come, you need to show up because you're a valued member of the society and you're representing us well. Look at you. You have 40 subscribers on YouTube. You're obviously smashing it in the entertainment industry, and you're doing gigs out there, and you yell at 12 drunk people in pubs in the middle of nowhere, and you are obviously, doing great. You're the greatest representative our country has ever produced abroad. And I'm just going to be like, bro, I don't want to do it. And I'll be like, and I'll be like, dude, it's a Sunday. Really? On a Sunday, bro? My day off? Really? Come on. I need to wake up. What? I need to be there 8. We're starting 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning. Oh, I need to wake up like 6:30, have breakfast, shower, get ready. Oh, God. I need to make a sign as well. Bro, I just rather be deported. I just can't do it, bro. I just can't. I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy and don't care enough. That's the thing. So that's the thing, man. I don't do hashtags. I don't do protests. I don't care. And even if it's something that directly affects me, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, no, I have to make a sign as well. It's too much work. And listen, and UK is not a country where you can protest. Meaning, I mean, you can, but the weather is so harsh and so crazy, it's not fun. I see all these people in California, whatever they're protesting. Oh, I can protest in California. I mean, I wouldn't, but, if you can choose California, oh, bro, they're at the beach. They're going out. Everybody's all tan, good looking. Everybody's all jacked. They're walking around with their signs. And that is a place where you can protest. You know what I mean? Not me, bro. Because, I see them, they it's like a social event, you know what I mean? And everybody's happy, everybody's smiling, they have their signs, everybody's on Instagram, hashtagging, making selfies and stuff. Then they have a barbecue, they go to the beach in the evening, they swim. Seems like a fun time, you know what I mean? But here our weather is fucking crazy, man. It rains and it's windy and it's not a fun place to protest. I don't even know how I got into this topic, to be honest with you. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm just lazy. You know what I mean? So I don't do that stuff. Yeah, literally. How the hell did I get into that topic? Supposed to talk about other stuff. I don't know. Anyway, my girlfriend criticized me that I ramble too much. That's why she doesn't watch the podcast anymore. She said I'm kind of hard to follow. But hey, what can I do, man? I'm improvising. You know what I'm saying? My brain just goes to all these different places and I don't edit anything. It just flows. So whatever it goes, it goes. But yeah, I can't be bothered. So, I forgot. I don't know. How did I get into the topic? I don't know. I'll watch the clip and I'll remember. Anyway, so my last gig was in Bramley, which is like near Leeds. So I've gigged in Leeds a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times, and it was at the end of October, I think. Yeah, something like that. So we go there. It's like a car share. It takes about maybe 2 hours. And the thing here, oh my god, because the day is so short now, it's so depressing because literally I remember the gig started a bit early because of the situation or whatever. And oh yeah, I remember because we're talking about canceling Christmas and stuff. And sorry, now I remember how I got into the protests. Yeah, don't cancel Christmas, okay? Because if you cancel Christmas, there will be middle class white people with beige V-necks and pretty much dressed like this, but just with a jumper on. The way I dress like a middle-aged suburban housewife. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be protests, and I'll be out there as well. Don't cancel Christmas. That's my favorite holiday. Um, so anyway, it takes about maybe hour and a half or two, and gig started at 7. So I remember we left about half 5, I think. No, yeah, about 5 o'clock. And 5 o'clock, it was so pitch dark, you know what I mean? And it's very depressing when it's so dark so early, and it's like cold and it's raining. But it's a good thing that we did, the car share, because sometimes it's so lonely, to be honest with you. Especially when I started, I don't drive, so when I started comedy, the first 2 months, because I didn't know anybody, I was going to gigs. Even the first maybe 2-3 months, I was going to gigs all by myself, and it was okay because I started in July, August, September. But when you come like October, November, December, January, and if I have to travel by myself, sometimes I do, it's so lonely because when you're in the train for like 2 hours and it's pitch dark and it's all cold and stuff, sorry, and you need to find the venue. Oh, I mean, I don't. I keep myself entertained. I watch some wrestling and stuff on the train, but it's still very lonely sometimes. But now when I know people after a few months, when I started, we're doing car shares all the time, and it's very fun. So it was quite fun. We had like a fun conversation with the other comedian, and I was just filming my stuff. So we go there, and we walk inside, and it's like this big space. There's nobody. There's literally like the owner, and there's like a girl behind the bar. And there's nobody, you know what I mean? I was like, what the hell's happening? But then I see like this little door, and it's like a separate room. And I was like, oh, that's quite good. Because I really like, and it was very well done, by the way. You had the stage, the microphone, there's like the banners of the organizers. There was like table. It felt like a comedy club, you know what I mean? And the place where the comedians were, it was like a little wall or whatever. So it's kind of isolated from the stage. And the bar is also there, so people can have drinks or whatever. And I was like, it was very well organized, because the worst thing is when you have one big room and there is no separation. The everything, the comedy or whatever, is there in one place, right? When it's a smaller pub, and then it's an issue, because you have people who came over for the comedy, but you have people who are just there because they just want to drink, and because they are the regulars, in that neighborhood or whatever, and they go there evening to drink. Especially the comedy, if it's like Friday evening, Saturday evening, or Sunday or whatever, it's usually the busiest, and it's so bad sometimes because you go on stage and there's literally like a group of people that they don't care about the comedy, so they literally talk between each other. And for me, I'm very loud, and if you talk, it really depends on the gig, but I usually, if I have material to do, I'll just steamroll you know what I mean? I'll just talk louder. I have the microphone. Even without the microphone, I'm probably the loudest person in the room anyway. So for me, I'll go over it with my voice and stuff. But what they do, they start talking even louder between each other. And then you're like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? Like, so it's quite frustrating. But this was very good because it was isolated. So if somebody wants to go, they can have a drink in the other room or whatever. So we're starting, and because we're in the situation, everything needs to be, cleaned down, wiped down, the jail for the hand, jail, not jail, jail for the hands. And they had, like, backstage, they had these things, you see these little pillows or whatever that you put on top of the microphone. They had like 5 or 6 different, and it was each for each comedian, and I was like, oh wow. And they had like a little sticker as well, so they had my name. I think I even took a picture. So they had the fluff, mine was like, I think purple or orange or something, and they had my name, like the stickers. They had the list with all the people, and I was like, this is very professional. I was very impressed, right? Now the crowd was crowd was not that professional, let's just put it that way. Crowd was rowdy, you know what I mean? Oh man. So we have one, two, three, four, I think 5 comedians, which is good, you know what I mean? We didn't have like a crazy amount. Sometimes they're like shows. I've been on a show where there were like 9 or 12 comedians, and I'm not talking about a gong show, where it's different, but you know what I mean? Like so many, and the night is like 4 hours. And like, and I've been in cases where I'm like second to last, and by the time you get on stage, like 11:30, people are so pissed. People are tired of, I don't know, just laughing and just being there. And you had like 7, 8 comedians before you. You know what I mean? I've been to some crazy stuff like that. So this was very well done. The opener was doing about, I think, 20 minutes. The closer was doing half an hour, and everybody in between was doing about 10 minutes, which is fair enough, you know what I mean? And they had the good, the breaks and the stuff. It was very enjoyable. Crowd was rowdy though. The opener goes, she does her stuff. They were very polite to her, you know what I mean? They didn't heckle, they didn't talk, nothing. It went very well, And I was thinking, like, oh, they seem like a fun bunch, like they seem that like they're gonna listen. And because of the situation, we don't have that many gigs now. I mean, not now, but before, in October. Because, like venues, somebody's closed down, because a lot of the times it's like independent comedians organizing comedy nights in different venues, you know what I mean? So they have a few venues that they work with, it's not like a comedy club, it's a pub that they put a comedy night on. And some of them stopped doing it. Other, like maybe the pub run out of business, or it's closed down or whatever. So there were not that many. And before that gig, I literally haven't gigged for maybe 2 weeks. I kept myself occupied. I was doing YouTube, and I'm always like, I wrote when the first situation happened, which was 3 months. I wrote so much. I was writing almost every day. So I have so much material. So I'm pretty much just either learning that new material or just editing, you know what I mean? And the thing is, because now with the whole thing, I'm not going to have that many gigs coming until maybe mid 2021. So for me, I have so much that I wouldn't have, it's gonna take me months and months and months before I can try everything on stage. So I don't write at the moment. I'm just working on the old stuff that I have, that I'm quite happy with. And before that, I haven't been on stage for maybe 2 weeks. So I was like, I have like a tight 10-minute set, which works. I mean, it works 95% of the time, unless the audience is very crazy or something happened right before me or something like that, I'm just like, I'm gonna do that, and, it's gonna be a fun experience just going out there. I'm not gonna do new material. And so there was like a little break. So then the second comedian goes up. So the second comedian, he said that it's his 25th or 26th gig, so pretty much a new guy. and he did very well. I was very impressed, by the way. Like sometimes when I see, I wouldn't like. I've been doing it for maybe 8, 9 months now. Even though the last 2 months I haven't. I've done like 3 gigs or whatever, but still 8 or 9 months, and that is like almost a year. Like I'm approaching 1 year mark. So I'm not like brand new, but I'm not like a seasoned veteran or whatever. You know what I mean? I've done 80 gigs, which is not bad, 80. And sometimes when I see these really young guys or girls and they were like, oh, this is my fifth gig, my sixth gig, or whatever, and like I can see how good they are. And I was like, damn, dude, you know what I mean? Like, I need to step my game up, because I'm a competitive person to a certain point. Like, for me, like, if I'm on a bill, I don't want to be like, I don't know, like, if everybody is good. I need to keep up, and I want to be on a bill with really good comedians as well. And I've been on a few bills now, like with professional comedians, and I was like, listen, just because I'm not going to come here and just give up and stuff. I mean, you're very, very talented and you're crazy good, and you've been doing it for ages. But I will throw everything at the audience, including the kitchen sink, because I want to, when they look at the bill and when the show finishes, I don't want them to be like, oh, those three comedians, they are phenomenal. Yeah, the other guy, yeah, he was okay. I want to keep up with them, you know what I mean? And I'm a very confident guy on stage, so I will give my best. I've always done that. And even if I've been on bills where I was like the most experienced act, which is kind of weird, because everybody's literally starting out, but I'll still give my best. And sometimes I see some of these guys and girls. I did a gig in Liverpool, and there was this guy, like his, I don't know, like fourth gig or whatever. He was so freaking good. I was like, Jesus Christ, bro. He was like so like no nerves, super just chilled out on stage. Like he's been doing it for ages, and I was like, I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, fucking hell, man. Like this dude, in a few years, this dude will be this blow up. You know what I mean? There was a girl as well, but she's been doing it for a bit longer. But she was like so natural on stage and just so captivating. I even said to her, and she was young as hell, bro. She was like 19 or whatever. I said to her, if you keep this up in a few years, if things go back to normal, in a few years you will be you superstar. Crazy stuff. And sometimes you look at him and you think like, man, I need to step my game up. You know what I mean? So he did very well. And then there was like a break. There was a guy who his second gig. That was his second gig, and he was so good as well. And he wore this like crazy fucking what's the jacket? He like a print of a, not a zebra, but like a leopard. No, was it cheetah? Maybe something like a wild, like a big wild cat or whatever. He had like a biker jacket, was like all white and black with the fucking little thingamajigs over here. It looked phenomenal. I even said to him, mate, I'm going to steal your look, because I want to, in the future, in a few years, when I start getting maybe like more regular work or my paid work, or when I start doing clubs more often, I have some ideas for some preposterous outfits that I want to do. But now, because I'm an open micer, I don't think, I just want to work on the skills. You know what I mean? He was so good. And then it's a break, and then it's your boy. Hold on. Then it's your boy Mike Yanek, right? Now, at this point, the audience, maybe there is about, let's say, 30 people, 35 people, I think, maybe. And with the comedians and the bar staff, but it's not that big of a room, so it feels very packed. You know what I mean? And there's enough space. There was not an actual lifted stage. There was just the floor, which I prefer, because I do a lot of physical comedy. I move around, I walk around. I like when I don't have to think, because there was a few times where I almost fell off stage, because they're kind of like small and they kind of lifted, but you can still hurt yourself. Especially me, I'm so clumsy, and I like when I don't have to think about that. So at that point, they're kind of pissed. Let's be honest, okay? Because maybe it's 9 o'clock by now or something. There's 2 hours have passed. because there was like an act, 15 minutes break, an act, 15 minutes, an act, 15 minutes, something like that. And everybody's having a good time. They kind of talked a little bit here and there, but they're a bit pissed, right? I go to the toilet, and I see like some people preparing. Let's just how I can put this so I don't get nobody in trouble. Let's just say that they were preparing themselves to have a good time. Shall we put it that way? I mean, it's a pub in the north part of England, okay? Especially if you live here, you know what's happening in those toilets. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of saw that. I just opened the door and I saw 3 people and I was like, nope, fuck this. And I kind of went back. This is where I wanted to use the loo to take a piss, but I was like, nah, okay, fuck that. So they were preparing themselves to have a good time. Let's just put it that way. And so they come back, right? And so the MC, very seasoned veteran, great job. And I think I've seen him somewhere, or maybe I've gigged with him, but I'm not sure. And he did a great job. So he introduces me, and they have those microphones where you don't have a cable. You know what I mean? When I emceed the drag queen show, which you can go on my channel, and if you want to see the vlog and me being on stage with drag queens doing a raffle, giving out prizes, go after this and watch the episode. It's episode, I think, 6 of the life of a stand-up comedian, or 5, or maybe 4. I'm not even sure. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe 4. Anyway, so they don't have the cable, you know what I mean? And they have those, so they kind of like they're singing microphones, they're kind of like this, to be honest with you, without the microphone. They are quite thick, and they have the big, fluffy thing on the top. And the thing is, they're like, you can turn them on and off with this little thing, and they told me how to do it before that. And this was the second time I've only used something like that. So I turn it on, and I was like, is it on? Is it not? And then I turned it off by accident. And I was like, hello, everybody, can you hear me? So I kind of went on stage, and they were like, and then I turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. And I was like, oh no, we're starting with the technical difficulties. But then I turned it on. So like, how everybody doing? I did the first joke, which is like a Brexit joke. And then it turns out that this, like, it's Brexit town, apparently. I didn't know that, but it went okay. It went well. I got a few laughs. And then I'm starting to do my material, and my style is very like, I'm talking only if I do my set, because sometimes people interrupt and they jump in or whatever. But it's very like joke, and it's very intense and like one after the next, bit. I don't give them time to breathe. This is how I like I said to one of my mates when I was a guest on this podcast. I needs to be like fucking, you know what I mean? Bam, 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 bam. Are we gonna fuck? Or are we just gonna hold each other's hands and tell each other that we're pretty? You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna fuck or we're not gonna fuck? So this is how I like to do comedy as well. Very intense, very boom, 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 boom. So do the stuff. And then they start. Oh my God, that audience heckled. It's not even heckling. They just keep interrupting like so much. I literally do my first Brexit bit, and then somebody just yells something. And I just said to him, what I said to him, like, and I did like a few words from the next bit. He interrupted me, and I was like, don't even try to heckle me. I don't understand a single word you people are saying. And they all started laughing. And I think they kind of got the impression that I'm like, oh, we can do this, we can talk, and you're gonna say something funny back, and we're like, it's a group thing, but it's not a group thing, it's a solo thing. I'm there, I'm gonna do my material, you just listen and enjoy. I don't need you to jump in and interrupt. They interrupted so much, and but at this point I kind of know how to handle it, because I had a few very bad experience back in the day when I was starting with hecklers, and it went so bad. So I kind of learned how to just take everything as like, hey, like a little joke, and just make a little smirk and like a little cheeky face, say something funny, it'll be fine. You know what I mean? Even if they interrupt, you can still have a good gig. And so they interrupted, they laughed, and I legit don't understand anything they're saying. That Yorkshire accent, I don't understand anything, literally. And so I started doing the other bit, and they start interrupting, they start jumping in, and I was like, fucking hell. And I keep, but sometimes I say something funny, sometimes I'm like, shut up, They laugh again, but it's very, very disruptive, There was on the first row, there was a mother and a father who brought their child, a 14-year-old, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? Don't bring a 14-year-old to a comedy show. So I did my first bit, and then I was doing the other one, and I was just looking at the kid because they kept interrupting, and I started roasting the kid, and I was like, why are you here, blah blah blah. And I started looking at the kid and just saying curse words. Just saying curse words, and everybody's just laughing at that point, and I'm just looking at the kid, and I was like, you should not be here, and then I was roasting the mom because I have this bit about the fashion police, and I'm pulling out my little pistol, and I was like, because she's interrupting me, and I was like, don't you dare, how do you have the audacity to interrupt me with that ugly outfit? No, the fashion police is here, and I bring out my gun, I shoot you, pew 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 pew. Life sentence, look at that skirt or whatever, pew 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 pew. And then she roasted me about my jumper, and I said, no, my jumper is beautiful, shut up, everybody's laughing. And fucking hell, so it turns out, and it's a boy, 14-year-old boy, and at one point I say to the mom, I was like, you should be ashamed, how the hell are you gonna bring him to the gig, are you crazy? And she says, no, it's a she. And I was like, what? And she said, it's a she. So it turns out that the boy was actually a girl. But it had like a short haircut. It was dressed in a tracksuit. It literally looked like a boy. And I thought it's a guy. You know what I mean? And it was a bit tall as well, And everybody was like, what? And I was like, and they all started laughing. And I was legit confused. So it turns out it was a girl. So I just said, other comedians, usually comedians who have class will leave now, but I'm scum, so I don't care. And they start laughing. But yeah, they were interrupting like crazy. There was this couple at the back. So I'm doing like a bit about like being on a bus, and there's like a couple arguing in the bus, and I just said, and he's in trouble, and she's arguing, she's very moody and very bitchy, and she's very like mean to him, pretty much like you. And I just pointed at the woman. The husband stood up and started clapping. I got a standing ovation from a guy that I just called his wife mean cunt, pretty much. What the hell's wrong with you people? That was so funny. That was so. I legit started laughing. I was like, "You people are insane. Why are you clapping? And why are you giving me a standing ovation? It's insane." Like, it was fun though. It was fun. It was a fun gig. It was disruptive because I went with the idea I wanna do my material and just leave, but they interrupted. But it was fun. If I get invited back, I would definitely do this gig, 100%. It was so much fun. And anyway. She did not look entertained throughout the gig, but there was a few moments that I actually got her to laugh a lot. I think I just broke her because I was like, you know what, like I want to make her laugh because she seemed so moody, and she was literally like, there was like a little couch or whatever, like to the wall, and she was literally like this the whole time, like just splashed on the couch, like you're gonna splash when you're in your own house, you know what I mean? She's like this, like this. She was, I think, quite drunk, to be honest with you. And towards the end, there's a few more things that happen, but go and watch the vlog. Towards the end, I'm literally almost about to finish. It was so difficult to finish with them because they did not stop talking and interrupting. It wasn't even heckling, heckling like, boo, you suck. No, they just like, when they do a joke and they kind of laugh and they kind of add a tag or a punchline and everybody starts laughing, and I was like, fuck. And then I have to say something. There was that woman that didn't look entertained. I'm literally almost at the end. I'm finishing, and I'm doing a premise. She burped at the middle of a premise, like so, burp, like so loud. And I just looked at her and I said, "Did you just burp right now?" And everybody just lost their shit. And I was like, "Oh my god, what is happening here?" Like Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. There was a woman who was like on a table by herself near the bar, and the whole time, you know how you have the tobacco and like the loose tobacco and the little thingamajigs. So she was rolling cigarettes the whole gig. She probably rolled 40 cigarettes, right? Just rolling cigarettes the whole time, enjoying, listening, just rolling. Doesn't even look at the stuff, just look. And she had the craziest, like so loud, overpowering laughter. So I kind of played with her a little bit, and I kind of mocked her one time about the laughter accidentally. So there's this bit where I do a punchline and I wait them to finish laughing, and then I do like haha, and then I do another punchline that they don't expect, and they laugh even more, and that wraps up the bit, right? So I did the punchline, went so well, everybody's laughing, and I'm just waiting for them. I'm just sitting there. Sometimes I do faces when I wait when they laugh. It's just funny, and I'm just waiting, and right, because she's like, fucking dying over there laughing with her crazy laugh, and they're laughing even more because the way she laughs, and I'm kind of like, ha ha ha, but it was not meant to mock her. I'm just doing my little laugh, but I kind of went a little bit more with the nose, it's usually like, ha ha, but I just went like, ha ha, and they laughed even more, and I was just about to do the punchline, but they started erupted laughing, so I'm kind of like, I kind of pull back. So that's quite, gigs like that are very interesting because it's a, I don't know, comedy is like you are a surfer and you're just riding a wave. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes you have the perfect wave and you're riding it for the whole time, and they just sit there and listen and they laugh. But sometimes it's a crazy sea and they talk and something happens and somebody falls over, other person pisses their pants, somebody gets in the fight in the middle of the gig, whatever, and it's like this, like up and down and up. It's crazy. Sometimes you fall over. It was a very difficult wave to ride, let's just put it that way. But I'm quite happy with my performance, and people are like that. They came over, gave me hugs or whatever. They really enjoyed it, and it was just one of those gigs, and it was fun. It was so much fun. Yeah, man, I miss comedy. I want to go back, but yeah, probably, to be honest with you, I'll probably come back in 2021 because the situation is gonna finish January, December. They're not. We'll see what's gonna happen. I don't know when the club's gonna reopen. And January is slow. Usually it's very slow. Even in 2019, I had 3 gigs in January because there's nobody organizing stuff, because everybody spent all their money. But in February I had 15. So probably in February, March, I'll go back out there. I mean, if things finish, they open and I get a gig, I'll jump straight into it. I have plenty of material, mate. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Oh my god, this video is way longer again. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a nice weekend, and I will see you next week